pick this thing up from. So now putting it all together further for our content graphics people, what we actually have to do, right? So we have understood the different buying stages. Now whatever content, graphics or assets we're gonna produce are gonna come into 5 stages. So stage number 1, as you can see on the screen, is pre-meeting marketing, where the audience is cold. Next is pre-marketing, prospecting for salespeople. Then we have to create content and stuff for post-meeting, then post-opportunity, and then if the deal gets stalled at any point and we really want that deal, right? So first is the concept of content for each stage. So first is pre-marketing. So now people are unaware about, let's say, your service, but they're, let's say, also unaware about the concept or the solution your service enables, right? So first we want to give them the examples of their peers and how they are using it, because they want to see what their peers are doing. Second, we want to create a case for change. So for example, if you are doing, let's say for account-based marketing, if you're only focusing on generating leads there and not pipeline, then you need account-based marketing, right? So if you have this, then you are kind of eligible for that. Second could be, if your only main tool of marketing is emails, and even that you're not segmenting, it's random act, so that could be a tool for account-based marketing. Third could be like, once they're aware of your solution, you can say, okay, this survey shows this survey shows account-based marketing is great. This analyst report says this. Now once we have the concepts down, so we have made the pillar content, now we have to make accompanying stuff for them. For example, the content will go into a marketing emailer. So how will that marketing email look like? What will be the content over there? If we want to put them in a content track like Uberflip or Path Factory, what it's gonna look like, what all pieces of content will go over there for a cold audience. Then we also have to make combining ads for these pieces of content all on Google Display, LinkedIn and stuff like that. And then of course we can set up some alerts about our accounts that we're going after. So if we have any signal or a new alert about that account, we can tweak our messaging when reaching out to that account. Next is we also have to build content for the salespeople also, so that we can set up their cadence on what kind of email they should do, what kind of direct mail they should ask us to send, and what kind of phone calling script they should have and stuff like that. So we have to create that thing too. Then is post-meeting. So post-meeting, what happens is now people are aware about you. Now you have to sell them more on the whole idea of it. So you will be sending them blogs of case studies. So for example, how BizAmps got $100,000 pipeline in XYZ company. Second could be thought-provoking questions on change. So for example, for account-based marketing, let's say the question could be, how would your team structure change if you are focusing on pipeline rather than leads only, right? And third could be use cases. So use cases could be like, you have this product feature coming up, so the direct use case that user might be able to use, and it could have the angle of this is new, this is AI, this is ML, that kind of stuff, and how it works. And again, the channels we can use is like content track. Now we are making ads for this kind of content, but over here the goal of our ads and the content is that they spend more time on page, because now we want them to engage deeper into our stuff. And the emails over here are not marketing emails, these people are already done with us, so we have to think of a drip email sequence for them. And then we have to think, when do we put webinars or online events or even offline events in the mix. Then after the opportunity is created, so the meeting has done and they say, yes, we have a need, yes, we want to go forward with one solution and another. Then, so what happens? So let's say Boeing is going to sell their planes to someone. And they know Airbus is also in competition. So they go forward and they go forward with a risk analysis. So let's say if you go forward with Boeing, this is all the risk you are taking. They're very upfront about it, because that's $1 billion deal. That company either way is going to do that research. right? But when they show the risk, it not only builds trust. Over there, it's like common. That's common practice, but there's something we guys can adopt. Also, we can put comparison of how we compare to other tools, because they will be looking at other vendors, how they can sell it internally. So how to sell this to the CFO, how to sell this thing to your CEO, how to sell this thing to your chief human resource officer, I don't know who we are selling to. And then again, how you can show ROI. And not only and this could be a one pager where you can say you can push this one pager to your internal team, and this is how you can show ROI. And then again, the people who are in this stage now, these people we will be bidding a lot for their impressions of ads. So over here we can even use stuff like video and social display ads that we'll be using. Now over here we will be doing very less kind of drip over here, but we'll be more focused on webinars or events for them to interact with our subject matter experts and key people, right? The people who they are going to work with. And then is stall deal, like I told you. Even Rollworks did initially in the campaign. Over here, this is another great thing what this company does. So they, for example, if they want to get me on board, they will send me a bobblehead with kind of my face on it, and say whatever you want to say, I will keep that thing on my desk, and most people will. We are narcissistic at our very core, and that worked great for them. Everyone who received that in the stall deal got 31%. They brought that people back into the stage in the buying thing at 31% rate. Then there was another company. What they did was, so okay, they were trying to get, they were already in communication with someone, but the person kind of stopped replying to them. So they kind of stopped them, and they sent them a subscription of BarkBox and say, okay, we had this discussion about dogs, that you have dog also, and they stalked them online. So this is all our office dogs sending a BarkBox subscription to you. And the deal came back online. I don't know if they converted, but that was it. But this is highly direct mail specific. It's like you're spending a lot on this thing. Okay, deliverables. So deliverables will change, and I'm gonna go into the next stage. But overview deliverables will be, there will be all the stuff that gets the person on the website or on our page. So that could be ads, that could be newsletters and stuff like that. Then is the content track of when the person comes, what kind of blogs or webinars we want to show them, so that they say, okay, these people know their stuff, let me invite them to my office and tell me more about it. And it, of course, is way easier said than done, and I understand you content people, but yes, that's the final goal of it. Then we have to also think about communication. So communication like emails, the landing pages, the direct mail that's gonna go out from the salesperson and even from marketing person. And then we can do a lot of operations like setting up alerts between sales and marketing and a lot of stuff, tech stuff. And usually if you are a company, for example, we usually have these people on board, but if you are a company watching this, there are 5 kind of people I think you will need. Number 1 is strategist to manage this whole thing. Second thing is a content creator that will create all the content that needs to go out. Third is a designer who's gonna make sure everything is in line with the brand. And fourth will be the person who will be helping the salespeople conduct outreach, right, and taking stuff off of them. And even like we in-house do outreach not on phones but on digital channels. So there's one person dedicated to that. And then fifth is tech ops. Tech ops is so these days the new concept of revenue operations. Revenue operations is we have marketing data, we have sales data. How do we combine that data? So over here also the tech ops is we have marketing stuff, we have sales stuff. How do we combine their reporting and make a unified, let's say, account-based kind of reporting kind of stuff? And there's a lot of operations in between that these tech ops people and sales ops, marketing ops, rev ops, whatever you want to say it, these people take care of. And yeah, these are some ads. I think this is a combination of Uber Flip and demand based, if I'm not wrong. They show your logo, the logo of the company you are trying to target, and there's a message that kind of changes every time. Okay, then even in later stage we can have ads. So for example, post meeting, we can have ads where we can show testimonials of our other customers. So that increases trust and that accelerates the pipeline in the user. Okay, this will take some time. But so what I have done is, remember the 5 pre-meeting, post-meeting and stuff like that. I have broken the content down for content people and graphics people. So let's say the first, initially we're gonna put a lot of emphasis on blogs and infographics because they are short, consumable and stuff like that. From 5 to 10, it's more like for SDRs, what we're gonna do for them. For 10 to 14, it's all content, but with all this content, graphic people will also be required to not only create the content, but think how we can visualize this content better. But usually for account-based marketing program, if you are a client and thinking to hire us, BizAmps, this is all the kind of stuff we're gonna create as one part of the whole account-based marketing program. We're gonna execute it end to end, but this is the kind of content we will create. Okay, going forward. Yes, step 5. So this is more on working with the sales team, and it's easier than again doing it. It requires some patience. But what we have to do is we have to get the sales people to tell us what messaging needs to go for each of the accounts we are targeting, or each cluster of accounts we are targeting. They really need to tell us that. They have the insight and they need to bring that data. We have to extract that data out of them. Second is we can also extract information like who is the most important stakeholder you think in this account, because they have that information sometimes. Then it's like, what kind of content should we create actually? Is all this content look fine, or is this specific kind of content we should create? So that thought leadership in that account against the stakeholder. And when we have that content, we have to educate the account executives. Okay, we're gonna give this printed resource to you, and when you go in the account to have a meeting, this is how you run it through. So this is how you do the presentation. This is how you do the executive briefing. So there are multiple success metrics we can look at, and all of them are listed here. But one and they're pretty explanatory. But the point B over here is that we don't do just meetings where you get to know the person. While those are important, we are looking for meetings where both our client, us, or let's say the buyer get together and solve some problem that they had in their business. So they shared some sort of confidential information or insight about their business and stuff like that. Or one thing could be in point D is executive perceptions. So sometimes when a vendor and a client is in a relationship, what happens is they look at vendor just as a vendor. They never look at them as a partner. And it's when you are cross-selling or upselling, it's very important if you start looking at a particular vendor as a partner where they are helping you solve some problems and consult with you. And if those kind of perceptions have shifted, that also matters. And we can of course get all of these metrics signed off in our in our initial charter being signed off. After everyone says yes, we will be tracking those metrics. But it's important to have one lead metric in that. So when running multiple account-based programs for one particular service, this is a framework we can see, where we can see which type of account-based marketing performs well for a particular type of company or particular type of client. Right. This is another self-explanatory chart by FlipMapFunnel, the person who had created the Terminus platform and a thought leader in the whole account-based marketing space. And we can see how he tracks in multiple tiers of his accounts. And all the metrics he has over here. Okay, this is interesting. It's like we also have to think of finally reporting all of this campaign result to multiple stakeholders, and this might not be put into action in some cases, or the client would not want to. But you need to understand the CEO looks for a very different thing compared to what a CFO looks. For example, a CEO will look at the business being profitable, predictable, and has revenue growth, while the CFO will look at return on the investment he has on marketing. And you can have two very different conversations with a CEO and a CFO. while a sales director might be looking at only sales qualified leads if he is not bought into the whole account-based marketing stuff, right? These are some challenges that B2B teams say they have. Interesting ones are, I don't know if sales is following up on our leads. This is a problem marketing has. Operations has that too much is going on, of course, all the time. And sales is like, marketing did some stuff and my prospect attended, you did not tell me. So that the whole gap is kind of bridged by account-based marketing then again. This is an example of one account-based marketing campaign. Over here, look at the left. What they have done is they said that their success can be seen when the number of target accounts are less in 3 different ways. So number 1 is your reputation with the client, your target market. Second is the relationship with them. And third is, of course, the revenue. Most people will be looking at how many opportunities have been created, but other 2 things, for example, if they have engaged with our thought leadership, that means your reputation has gone up. Not very tangible return on investment, but that thing is there. If you have created a relationship with the key stakeholder over there, right, that's also a big thing. And of course, if an opportunity has opened, then that's the best. Okay, so there are a few marketing tricks that I just caught when I was going through all of these things, some nuggets. Number 1 is, one way what we can do is we can, let's say, going after a target person, what we can ask is the whole team visits that person's LinkedIn account, and then when the person sees who has viewed my LinkedIn account, he's like, why is everyone at BizAmps viewing my profile? Did they discuss about me? So that can give it a ego boost and pop up. Second is let your employee share content rather than the content coming from the company page on LinkedIn or Facebook or any other social media, and then let the company page share it. It has more value somehow. Third is put a lot of your team, where your R&D, your SMEs in front to create a lot of content, or put them in front to talk to the buyer. Fourth is, most of the marketing is somehow top of the funnel, so you have to bring yourself back and look at post after the lead has been generated, and you can create PR content or content focused on the salesperson's name. So basically the idea is, let's say I as a salesperson have no interest in marketing, but if you're creating content under my name where I'm authoring, my interest got up, because if the content is good and gets reshared, it boosts my ego. So I just got bought into the whole marketing stuff. Fifth is show the buyer what kind of risk they will be taking. They're working with you, and that kind of induces trust right up front. This is a very interesting campaign, really B2B did, where what they did was they sent a direct mail where you have to build a building. And think of it, like when you're building a building, how much attention you have when you're doing it. So, and you're thinking about the company who sent you that. And once, then you're going to take the person's call, because, he just put you into a fun activity and everything makes sense right there. This is a very lean way of doing account-based marketing, where you're just showing them an ad and auto-populating all the content that person already has on a page. So the person, it looks like a personalized feed, but it's not very, very well personalized. But yeah, it's just an ad and a content page. At the very early stages of account-based marketing, it's very lean. This is putting the whole plan in a page. So this can sometimes shift the perception of, let's say, the high-level people, because they don't want to go through a whole 1-hour presentation you might have gone through, but they want to see who are we reaching out to, what kind of ads we're going to show, what kind of landing pages they're going to experience. So in one page they can see everything, and after that, we're going to get alerts. Our marketing people are going to do this and stuff like that. So this puts all of this thing together. And yeah, this is so we are almost at the last page of the presentation. And here's the thing: if you're a company watching this, 75% of the account-based marketing programs were unsanctioned, and they were very small. So that means some person took a risk that we should bet big on a certain number of accounts. They put a small budget aside, and that thing worked out of there. right? So the key is getting started, and if you've gone through the whole presentation, thank you. And if everything is an information overload and you're thinking how you're going to get this thing done, we can run a pilot for you and get a lot of stuff done. We already have programs built. And I am Akshat Kharbanda, the founder of BizAmps, and get in touch with us, and I would love to work with you.